Hey, it's Coach Taylor from SmarterTeamTraining.com. We're up here at the 7th Annual New Jersey Strength Conditioning Athletic Development Clinic, and Mark Glazier's been very nice to open his doors to us. So we're at the NutraBio Tour here on February 17th, and coming up to this event, I posted a couple things on Facebook, Twitter, sent some stuff out to our email database on our website, and we got a whole bunch of questions back. So I appreciate you taking some time here. I just have some questions. We'll kind of go off the cuff. I actually printed them out so I didn't have to remember them. In full disclosure, Mark has reviewed the questions, so he does have a little bit of an idea of the conversation, but we can go any other direction if you want, as far as the conversation goes. Go. First question is, how does NutraBio decide to carry a new product in their line? For example, what made you add the FireFuel to your line and bring back the classic whey?
Okay. FireFuel was added as a pre-workout, but most of the pre-workouts there are more geared to people who are lifting and training, different type of exercise than somebody who's doing endurance training. And we saw a big need for that out there with especially mixed martial arts fighters who are training hard, CrossFit, totally different type of supplement or totally different type of dosages of supplements that we use, and we wanted to tweak that specifically for that. So we just see a huge increase in the general athlete for endurance and performance as opposed to just weightlifting and training. So that's why we came out with FireFuel, and we did a men and women's version so we could tweak it more toward each of them as well. Classic Whey is not a new product. We launched that in 1996. We just renamed it. We realized it's been around for 21 years. It's become a classic out there, and so we just renamed that one.
Right. What goes into a product that is different for male and female?
It depends. If you're looking at vitamins and minerals, you look at RDA values for men versus women. You look at body weight and to see whether something, a particular ingredient or supplement is dosed based on body weight for a man or woman, because the average body weights are different and stuff like that. Okay. So that's what we're looking at. Okay. We might put more creatine in a man's men's product than a women's product.
Okay. Other than caffeine or creatine, what are some ergogenic aids that someone should look for in a product?
I think one of the big ones is beta-alanine that I would like to use. It's a great ingredient for increasing performance, and basically what happens the more you train, the more you increase hydrogen ions. So beta-alanine works as a lactic acid buffer, and it can reduce the pH level, reduce that acidity level, letting your body perform at a much higher level. So I think that's something that I'd like to see people take more, twice a day, dosage 3.2 grams a day. So I'd like to see people take it 1.6 or above minimum and 2 doses a day. It doesn't have to be taken exactly at their training, but
is that capsule, pill, liquid?
You can do it either way. It comes in a lot of, it's in most pre-workouts these days, but it's often underdosed at 300 or 400 milligrams. I'd like to see that up at least 1.6 and over 3 a day. Because I think that's great as a lactic acid buffer and increasing performance. There's studies out there that show enhanced performance from it. There's studies that show more power on boxers and later rounds of punching. So there's some really good research on that.
And you can find the dosage on the food label for beta-alanine.
Yeah, okay. Most pre-workouts have it if it's a good pre-workout. You're just making sure you get that higher dosage. Caffeine also, I'm sorry, you said creatine. Creatine, actually there's some studies that show creatine in conjunction with beta-alanine has an improved effect with the two of them together, so those work together. Okay. And as far as creatine overall, I think that's a very good supplement for that, except I think women don't realize that. Most women will not take caffeine because they think it's going to bloat them, it's going to make them puffy. And creatine these days, if they're using a good creatine, doesn't have the same effects as it did many, many years ago. It's pure, it doesn't have all the fillers or other garbage that's in there, and you're not going to get that puffy effect. And I think one of the main things that for women they can start doing is forgetting about that little fairy tale and start saying, let me try this.
Okay. So what's your number one selling product?
Probably proteins.
Protein as a whole?
Yeah, proteins, protein pre-workout, and intra-workouts are number one. Probably whey protein isolate is our number one selling product. It's just, we've had it out.
What makes the whey protein isolate special now?
Ours has been out now for 21 years, and we've been tweaking it straight for 21 years. Okay. And the whole thing we do about our proteins here is making sure that we fully disclose it. You know, in my opinion, one of the biggest scams in the industry is protein powders, because companies will use all these different techniques to scam the consumer out of what they're getting. They'll use protein spiking, which a lot of people have heard out. They'll put in whey protein concentrate, but not a high level, a very low level of whey protein concentrate that can be anywhere from 34% to 40% protein value, and you don't have to put that on the label. So the consumer thinks they're getting a good protein, but they're getting a low level. You know, I think so. There's a lot of games that are played with proprietary blends and window dressing of proteins, And there's only 2 or 3 fully disclosed proteins on the entire market right now out of thousands of proteins.
Okay.
And you'll find proteins out there that are as low as 46% protein value, up to 90% protein value. And the consumer will buy it based on, you have 2 2-pound jugs in front of you. They'll look at how much protein is in this serving and how much protein is in this serving, 25 versus 30, and they'll think the 30 is better.
Okay.
Not knowing that the scoop in the 30 can be twice as large as the other one,
Okay.
So the consumer needs to know how to look at a protein, evaluate it, and the best way to do that is, and I think we do this in your seminar, doing a protein ratio, taking the amount of protein in a serving and dividing it into the total serving size, and you'll get the amount of effective complete protein that is in there. And if you're looking for protein, you want something that's at least 70% protein value. And that's whether it's a blended protein, a straight protein, an isolate protein, or anything. None of these proteins should go below 70%. 70 to 80 is a decent protein, 80 to 85, very good, 85 and above is just a great protein. Not for meal replacements or mass gainers, because you're adding extra carbs, you're adding extra fats, so those protein values will purposely get pushed down.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Gotcha. For a novice going into or going onto your website, it's probably overwhelming. I mean, you got 300 plus products, I believe, correct? If I'm getting into fitness as a whole, what supplements would be a good starting point to begin with? Obviously, water is a good one.
Water is the most important thing you take. Anybody who trains will look at. I would say 3 things: pre-workout, some type of intra or post recovery drink,
Okay.
and a protein powder. I think a lot of people out there who are training and increase the amount of exercise they're doing every day, the amount of load they're putting on their muscle, do not get enough protein in their daily diet, or do not get it throughout the day enough. So getting a good protein powder, increasing that to where your body needs it to build and repair the muscle from your training is important. I think a pre-workout is extremely important, but not for the reasons most people take it. Most people take a pre-workout for the stimulation effect, and that's important. That's good. The harder the better your mind is when you're training. The more intense you are, the better you'll train. The more you'll get out of it, of course. But when you take that stimulant out of the pre-workout, all of the other ingredients in there that are creating an anabolic environment within the muscle tissue, an ergogenic environment in the muscle that are increasing your performance, increasing your endurance, buffering lactose and lactic acid, not lactose, excuse me, and doing all these things are the important part of a pre-workout. Okay. And if you take most pre-workouts on the market and you pull out the stimulant, you're usually left with 3 or 4 grams of nothingness,
right.
All totally underdosed ingredients. So you want to see a pre-workout, and there's a lot of them on the market, not just NutraBio's. There's a lot of great pre-workouts on the market now that are fully disclosed label with citrulline and beta-alanine and all the ingredients that your body really needs to enhance and improve that workout and start the recovery process. So I think that's really, really important. Okay. If you can, understand the difference between the stimulant version and a non-stim. And when you throw the stim in, that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. But look for the other ingredients: betaine, beta-alanine, creatine, and those type of citrulline that should be in good dosages to enhance your workout. I think any type of recovery drink, either an intra-amino, branched-chain amino acids with essential amino acids, with glutamine, some type of recovery product is very, very important. Because if you take your pre-workout, you're getting everything you need to enhance the performance of your workout. Later on in the day, you want to start that recovery process. So a good intra-workout, BCAAs and glutamine, stuff like that would be very important.
If you could only take one supplement, what would it be?
Probably a recovery supplement. Like in our line, it'd probably be intra or reload. Okay. Because I can get the effects of a pre-workout by increasing those intras and BCAAs too. Okay. My protein I can get by improving my meals and having more chicken or fish or something like that. So if I can only take one supplement, I would probably take a intra reload style recovery product twice a day, 7 days a week.
Do you have to take it after training, or can you be using this regardless of training or not?
No, a recovery product like intra or reload you take on your off days too, because you're still recovering on your off days. A big mistake people make is they work out really hard and they take a recovery drink directly after. Well, the only thing you really need directly after is you want some carbs in to replenish glycogen in the body and to get some protein in possibly in the next half hour or so. But the rest of those ingredients that are for recovery, like glutamine and BCAAs and that, they can be taken throughout the day. So I like to see them broken up morning and night or after workout and then before you go to sleep, and just separate them twice a day, and definitely taking them on off days, because recovery is one of the most important things for training. Downtime between trainings, same thing, just as important.
Do you recommend all athletes take supplements to help their performance? Why or not? Why not?
I guess you define athlete. You know, you see a lot of people take supplements out there. You know, everybody takes supplements out there. There's no doubt. You know, when I was young and I was just starting this, nobody took supplements but bodybuilders. You know, there was a general health community taking vitamins and minerals. Now you have everybody taking to CrossFit, MMA, any sport out there is taking supplements. And I think a lot of people who are not training hard don't need supplements. It's a waste of money, and I see it in the gym all the time. There's a trainer there. Sometimes the trainer's great and he's really pushing this person. Then you see a trainer there and the guy, they're talking the whole time. The guy's doing a set, waiting 8 minutes, talking, bullshitting, doing another set. Supplements aren't going to help that. Supplements are the person who's really eating properly, training hard, and that supplementation is not a magic pill. It's something that's going to supplement, enhance, increases it, and improve him if he's at a certain level. So I'd say people who are just not caring about the workout, you're wasting a couple $100 a month if you're just sitting around doing nothing, going to the gym, listening to music. I saw a guy the other day reading the Wall Street Journal between each 10-minute set, and his sets were nothing, So I think that anybody who's serious about their training, supplements taken properly will help increase their performance. It'll help them mentally. Supplements can improve work as a CNS stimulant, but it can improve focus and drive as well. Can increase their endurance, can increase protein synthesis so they can build muscle, can improve recovery and shorten recovery time. So there's so much that good supplementation can do for the right person who needs it.
Would you ever take a customer recommendation or votes for new flavors? Again, full disclosure, last year we were here, we had a chance to sample the green apple before we went live. Today they gave us pina colada, chocolate peanut butter, I think it was called, and cake batter. I think are the 3 new flavors coming out. I will tell you that I thought all of them were great. Cake batter was by far my side of the table's favorite. But how do you go? Tell me how that process works. How does flavors come about?
Yeah, we do that all the time. We'll put it up on Facebook and different social media outlets and ask what flavors you'd like to see. So we just launched Classic Whey in 8 new flavors in the last few months, and almost all of those came from customer recommendations. Pina colada, cookies and cream, cake batter, salted caramel. We just loaded down with all these, and they were almost all customers. Now, we're not going to ask a customer, what ingredient do you want us to add, because they might not know, and they're listening to hype in the street. So we want to look at science for how we're going to formulate a product. We want to see what's really going to work, but when it comes to flavor, that's totally up to the consumer. We want to give them the flavor that they're going to like the best. So we always talk to them about it.
I know you had a tour in China, Asia. I remember, I think it was China.
Yeah.
One of the questions that came about on Twitter specifically was if they could get a product in Canada. I'm not aware of the scenario here. One of the staff members told me about DHA is not, you can't ship it over the border. So someone actually ordered something online. There are some limitations overseas.
Right.
But what does it take to get a product overseas, whether it's through China or Canada or Europe? And how would they know as a consumer what to check for to make sure that a product can come across the border?
Yeah, it's tough. For us, it's tough because with all the countries we ship to, every country has its own version of the FDA, their own regulations. So you can have DHEA that's perfectly allowable here, and there's a dozen countries around the world that will stop it at the border, like Australia won't allow it in. Amino acids are not allowed at specific levels. Caffeine is not allowed at specific levels. We're making our pre-workout for Argentina right now. We have to pull all the caffeine anhydrous out, and we have to replace it with natural caffeine. Otherwise, it's going to get stopped at the border. You go, and we were just out in Jakarta in Indonesia, and caffeine's allowed at, I think, 30 milligram dosage. So we have to change our products to match the regulations. So consumers who are purchasing them from us and having them shipped direct, there's some warnings on our site of countries we know, but it's potluck for them. They should really know what's allowed in their country or not.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, my man. If you're ever in Middlesex, New Jersey, you stop by the NutraBio facility here. These guys are always open and welcoming, very welcoming. Every time we come here, you have something new to show us and then get a chance to share. Mark takes time out of his day every time we come. The staff gets a chance to come out front, shakes hands. It's a very personal experience for us. And I appreciate the opportunity to grow as a friendship. Obviously, you collaborate as a business, having you speak at our events and share a little bit of your message, my man. If you want more information, NutraBio.com is obviously the easiest way to get a hold of you and the products, correct?
Right.
So if you tell me any other way they can get a hold of you or that?
Yeah, just go to NutraBio.com or look us up on Facebook, NutraBio. Look me up on Facebook, Mark Glazier. You'll find me. You can ask any questions you want. Yeah. And likewise, I appreciate working with you. We're having a lot of fun with these events. I think we're doing 3 of them together this year. I actually go to the events, I do my lecture, I hang out and listen to the rest because there's a lot I learned from the other strength and conditioning coaches there. So I think anybody who actually, joins you for these is going to get a lot out of it.
We'll tell you, if you go to whether it's our events or other events that Mark and the NutraBio staff are at, all of the staff is very open. Do yourself a favor and actually walk up to the booth, ask questions. They'll definitely expose you to a lot of different information that you may or may not have had, or even give you information that isn't even out yet. I mean, you and I have had conversations of full disclosure or we had to keep it non-disclosure type scenarios,
right.
And it's just a cool learning opportunity. So again, I appreciate the opportunity to learn from you guys. Go to NutraBio.com, and I look forward to seeing you guys at an STE event soon.
Awesome, man.
You like that one? Cool. I thought that went pretty well.
That's awesome.
You like that?
That's awesome.
Good.
How hard it was for me not to cough at a center.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Right, come on.
Here's Tim's great blooper.
I try
that
not
he's
to
gonna get.
laugh when you pick the bottle up with the cat.
And the cow blood. There's Tim's blooper coming up.
I was like, where are you going to go with this, boss?